0 o'clock. Nick Young wasn't just really fun in the NBA. He could make lots of three-point shots until the very end. He was a backup player on the Golden State Warriors team that won the championship. Even on his last team, the Denver Nuggets, Swaggy P made 37% of his three-point shots, which is really good. So what happened to him? Well, Nick Young's story is way more complicated than just being a silly guy who loves basketball. He's 34 years old now and really wants to get back on a team. This video will tell you why no team wants him and what happened to Nick Young. Hey, it's Casey. Welcome to AM Hoops. Make sure to hit subscribe 038 and click the bell for 5 videos every week that always come out at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. This is something new on our channel. Every Friday we'll do Feature Friday where we tell someone's whole story. So I asked you guys to vote last week on 4 different players and you picked Nick Young. Last week we talked about Onyeka, the new Atlanta Hawks player, and I'll put a link to his story at the end of this video. Nick Young grew up in a really tough part of Los Angeles and had a hard childhood. He got kicked out of 2 high schools and almost didn't get 112 another chance. That's when the important people at the LA school system finally figured out what was really wrong. The big boss at the schools got involved and told everyone that Nick didn't quit these schools because he wasn't smart. He quit because he was too upset to sit in class with kids from the same gang that killed his brother. When Nick was only 5 years old, his brother, Charles Jr., got shot and killed when he was leaving his community college. Some guys from the Bloods gang thought he was in a different gang and killed him by mistake. 143, then Nick's oldest brother, John, had to go to a hospital for people with mental problems. Their dad said that one bullet killed 2 of his sons. This is the sad background of a guy that most NBA fans think is just happy and doesn't have any worries. He was a fun person to be around. I never really got a chance to say goodbye. Most of the time before a game, I say, "Junior, let's go out and play." Luckily, though, Nick had more than just that support at school. He had basketball, and Nick became a really good athlete. He was one of the top 10 high school players in the country and 220 won championships while playing against his high school rival, Jordan Farmar. Nick Young went to college at USC, which surprised everyone because he could go almost anywhere, and USC isn't known for basketball. After having trouble with low test scores, he finally got into college and gave USC their best year ever. When he was a junior, Nick ended Kevin Durant's college career. The USC Trojans beat Texas and kicked them out of March Madness, and Young scored 22 points. USC got kicked out in the Sweet 16 by North Carolina, who ended up winning the whole thing. But after 3 years in school, when he was 21 to 59 years old, Nick Young got picked in the NBA draft 16th overall by the Washington Wizards. So in some ways, that's the end of a really inspiring story, but it's also the start of another one. Nick Young beat a tough childhood, his brother's death, and a learning problem to become an NBA draft pick. He was able to help his family get out of being poor, but once he got to the league, Nick quickly got a reputation that followed him around. He was really talented, but always got in big trouble. In January 2010, he was about to have his 336th sixth game with 20 or more points that season when the Wizards fined him for making jokes about Gilbert Arenas' gun problem. Arenas got in trouble for bringing a gun that wasn't legal into an NBA arena and keeping it in his locker. Nick Young and 3 other teammates laughed and joked with arenas before a game while he pretended to shoot them with his fingers, arenas got suspended forever, and Nick Young got fined $10,000. Now, I'm not trying to be mean and say that Nick Young is as bad as Gilbert Arenas or anything, but all this was a big part of Nick for 13 Young's story. Gilbert Arenas said recently that he was the one who turned Nick Young into Swaggy P. He said, "I could see all the amazing talent that Nick had, so I decided to help him. But the problem with me helping him at that time in my career is that I was hurt and kept getting hurt again. So I wasn't the same person I was when I was healthy and in the gym all the time. 440, now it's just hanging out with Gil. If I'm traveling and I don't have to play, I'm going to the club." The rookie wanted to come with me, so he became my sidekick, which wasn't fair to him at that time. So you might be wondering, with a mentor like that, how did Nick Young last 12 years in the league because of talent? Young scored 43 points in one game, which was his best ever 1 year after the Wizards fined him. He was their top scorer that season. But still, he would do really stupid things on and off the basketball court. Music, laughter, but he showed enough talent for the Clippers to trade for him. 520. But the problem with being back home was that Nick had trouble not being a starter. He made 35% of his three-point shots, but only 39% of all his shots, which is really bad. His game could only do one thing. He got less than 1 assist per night, and he never got a big contract. This was even after a great playoff game when he made 3 three-pointers in less than a minute. So after 1 year in Philadelphia, Nick bet on himself again by taking a short contract with the Lakers. This is where he finally found his place on the court. Nick did great coming off the bench while Kobe Bryant was healing from his ankle injury. 6 o'clock. He gave the Lakers amazing highlights and funny quotes. "We back in this building. You got a nice suit on today too. Man, you see what I'm going in? This car? Yes, I did. She's beautiful. What I'm gonna do with this? This shouldn't be legal." So the Lakers decided to give that guy a 4-year, $21 million contract. Now, he finally made it the biggest paycheck of his life. And the next 4 years were Lakers basketball and a crazy ride on and off the court. The first 2 years of that deal were terrible. He shot only 36% from the field, 637, and only played 96 total games because he got hurt. But you can't talk about this time in Nick's life without bringing up this. How was yours? Yep. D'Angelo Russell filmed Nick Young talking about cheating on his fayang. EIG Azarea. After that, he got another woman pregnant, and he and Iggy had a very public breakup. By the time that contract was over, Swaggy P was a joke, which made it really surprising that the Golden State Warriors signed him. They were a championship-level team with no drama at that time and a really good team culture. Nick Young even said 722 in a tweet that their fans didn't know basketball. "I think my phone was hacked." But he told me, "Tomorrow you're gonna play a little defense." I was like, "Nah, that's not what I do." Snoop Dogg came in, my dream today. So I don't really want to be interviewed right now. I want to go party. Remember this date in NBA history, the day Nick Young said he didn't want to be interviewed, even though he said that he played really well during the regular season, making 38% of his three-point shots, but he got worse in the playoffs and barely played in the finals. 753 Swaggy got his championship ring, but Golden State didn't call him back. What happened? Was it how he played in the playoffs? Was it that time he got arrested for not helping the police? Or was it when he called Kevin Durant soft in an interview? Either way, his career ended with just 4 games in Denver the next year. So again, the question is, why is Nick Young not on a team? He tweets and comments on Instagram at teams sometimes saying he's still ready to play. A video was posted just this week of him playing basketball and looking good, but I think it's pretty 832 easy to tell after this story. Yeah, he can make 3-point shots, but that's it. He takes really hard shots like Kobe Bryant, but doesn't have Kobe's amazing skills. He doesn't pass the ball, which makes coaches mad. And he definitely doesn't play defense. Players like that are like Kyle Korver or Marco Bellinelli. They all make 3-pointers, but they don't stay at the club until 2 a.m. Get arrested when they're 32 years old, or have public breakups with famous girlfriends. Bottom line, he causes too much trouble, and it's not worth what he can do on the court. Look, in a lot of ways, Nick Young's story is really 9/11 inspiring. He beat a tough childhood to make about $40 million playing basketball. But in other ways, his story is a warning to younger players. Yes, you can get older and stay in the league, but only if you act your age at the same time. Support AM Hoops and click subscribe. Don't miss a daily NBA video.